Welcome back, my friends, to Marvel Snap. We are checking in on the free-to-play account here. This account was created as soon as the game went live. We're at rank 78 right now. We had been higher. We were falling somewhere around this 80s range. The account is in a position I think a lot of you guys are in as well. The early pool 3 grind is very challenging because you get some opponents hitting you with absolute meta lists, and you, meanwhile, are missing a lot of key pieces to be able to build those lists yourself. So I'm going to showcase a list that I've actually had a ton of fun climbing with. It is a very budget-friendly movement list. This is my favorite movement list. It's running only a single pool 3 card, and the great thing is that you have two different options of cards to bring in. I'm running the dagger here because that's what's in my collection. You could run the Human Torch if you've been able to find him. So you have two options to be able, or two cards to be able to find to accelerate the capabilities of this list. Now, of course, if you're running the Human Torch, you're going to want to drop the Nova Killmonger package as well. Bring in the Storm, maybe play Magneto as another finisher, maybe play America Chavez, maybe play Scarlet Witch as another location fixer. You've got options. It opens up another flex slot for you if you go that route. This list absolutely revolves around empowering multiple man to be our carry. When this moves, add a copy to the old location. So he is able to make multiplicative use of any buffs that we give him, and so that's why we are running the Forge, to be able to buff him up to a 5 strength. Is why we have the Hulkbuster, to be able to clip on, bring him up potentially to a 9 strength if you also have the Forge, maybe just a 7 if you are able to just clip on the Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster brilliant here also to clip onto any card in conjunction with the Iron Fist, giving us another opportunity to be able to cause a movement. So we have cards that want to move and we have cards that cause movement. The cards that want to move are the Multiple Man, the Vulture gaining 5 power every time he moves, and the Dagger gaining +2 power per opposing card at the location she moves to. She can scale up very well, and we also have the Kraven. Do not forget the Kraven. This guy I have seen insane numbers on as well. He is one of the harder cards to be able to combo with because he has to move alongside other companion cards. But if you lay down the groundwork on being able to get that to happen, he can be incredible. Then, as we said, we had the module of cards that will buff the Multiple Man. Now we have the cards that cause movement. The Iron Fist, really the unsung hero of the list. At the 1 cost price point, to be able to cause a movement is very efficient with the engine cards that we have access to. Cloak, allowing both you and the opponent to move. Now here, it's brilliant with Kraven, because if the opponent decides to take the movement, they will also buff the Kraven themselves. The Doctor Strange pulling the highest power card. Most often this is going to be moving the Vulture around, though the beautiful thing is that Vulture and Multiple Man both start at 3, and Doctor Strange will pull them together if they are at that 3 power threshold. And then the finisher, the Heimdall, opening up the Bifrost, shuffling everybody to the left for the huge finisher. You can also play the mind games and bait your opponent, which is why a lot of players like to run a alternate finisher in the Chavez, but I like going full Heimdall here. Jumping in here to be able to get a showcase for the deck. We're going to play a block of games. I don't know if they're all going to make it into the video, if we're just going to end up being able to show the highlights. We'll check in at the end and still be able to talk about how well the deck climbed for us. We had a great opening game on the block, but then the wife called me with questions about shopping for the Thanksgiving feast. We're hosting the family this year, so, you know, probably not all the games are going to make it into the video. But we've got the deck list up above. This is actually my favorite movement list, period, and I've played quite a bit of it, though I've not fully tested the adaptations that you can make with the Miles Morales. To be fair. Kunlun is amazing for us, Mindscape not so amazing for us. But as I was saying with the deck list, if you guys want to talk any card substitutions, deck optimization, just leave me a comment down below. Love chatting everything Snap down there. If I play Dagger... Okay, I will play the Dagger, then we can play the Cloak, we can buff a number of cards, set up the Forge to be able to buff something else. I see a path forward, but I'm not sure how happy I am with it. They play Debris. Debris is very bad for us, choking up the board space. This is why we want to run Killmonger. We could just try and play through the Dagger on this one. Play Cloak here. Play Forge. It's such a tight board. I hate it. But maybe there's a chance. They got the Storm, taking away the Kunlun. Probably wishing that they had done that. Well, I mean, I didn't get any benefit out of it. I was going to say wishing they'd done it earlier, but no. You didn't want to take away the Mindscape instead? That would have been so much better for me. So here, the Dagger is going to be able to buff herself to 10. The opponent has retreated. We were creating, admittedly, a lot of tempo. I was saying there were a number of problems that we had. They probably didn't want to part with their hand, realized we were going to give them junk. We would play Doctor Strange back here, pull the dagger back, buff significantly, and we still had pressure on flooding. I'm happy with taking that win. Diving into our next match here. Oh, the Savage Land. This is why we run the Killmonger. Try and clear these blockers out so we keep open spaces to be able to have our engine cards. Give them the space they need to move about. I need my space. Creature Comforts, anyone? Claymation, same studio as, I believe the same studio as Wallace and Gromit. One of their early nominations. I remember watching it as a little kid and just thought that it was absolutely hilarious. I need my space. They had a mountain lion at the zoo. He was being interviewed. At this point, you guys probably think that I'm just insane trying to relate this. But you had to be there. You had to hear him say it. You could probably find it on YouTube. Got the vault that's gonna lock down. You know what? Is this actually where I'm about? Am I gonna play Rhino? I never thought I'd be here playing Rhino happily. Gonna open up the vault. We've got Beast and Goose. You know, the Goose adaptation to the bounce list is pretty clever. Playing a lot of small cards anyway, I could see that being good value. We'll go Iron Fist, Vulture here. Get the Iron Fist, or get the Vulture moving around. Still looking for Killmonger to be able to open up some space. Why? Oh, their hand was full? Their hand was full because of Triskelion, so that's why they could only take one Raptor back. Boy, that must have been very disappointing for them, for that to be the case. Do I want to play any? I don't want to play Typhoid Mary. I have too many bodies on the board. She decreases the power of all of our other cards by 1. Don't want it. Are we actually going to be able to score Omega Red? Not really. I can't play at mid because of the Goose. I would want to be able to pair it with the Vulture, scaling up to overkill a location. I think that we just play something like the Cloak here, bring the Vulture back, keep him moving around, cycling, and then drop Hulkbuster to put some pressure on the Savage Land, where the opponent has basically lost all their board space anyway. If we play the Heimdall there, then we should be able to pass them at Savage Land. The Vulture scaling quickly with the Cloak and then the extra movement from the Heimdall. And I'm quite happy with our situation. It's a big Raptor. I didn't set out to play the big Raptor, but if you're given the big Raptor, you play the big Raptor. Take the Rhino. Sacrifice him. I don't mind. They get to draw because of our Cloak. We'll move Vulture. And then we play Heimdall. We've already snapped. Lock it in, lock it in. If you guys have missed it, the next update that the developers are going to be hitting us with is going to be the biggest update we've ever had. We're getting the collector tokens, we're getting new cards, we're getting Series 4, Series 5, Galactus and Thanos are coming. Like, things are changing crazy fast. I have a video breaking it all down. It's actually a longer video. It's like 45 minutes long. I'm diving into what they revealed from a video. I'm diving into what was revealed from a developer blog article and also FAQ from the Discord that I have been combing, actually submitting questions myself. So if you guys want to have that one-stop shop of everything to be able to best prepare for the coming update, because there are some nuances in how you can prepare for what is to come with the collector tokens, check that video out. It's got timestamps, so hopefully you'll be able to find exactly what you want to see. We'll play Nova here as the start. Get the Forge up, the Iron Fist. Sanctum Sanctorum is fantastic for us. Honestly, the Murder World is fine as well. I don't mind knowing that I'm going to be able to break the Nova regardless of... Shocker, okay. Regardless of having Killmonger or not. I'm going to play... I think that we do play Craven Iron Fist. That'll let us kick the Vulture over to Sanctum Sanctorum as an 8-point body. That'll be pretty solid. The opponent, playing Shocker, tells us that they are playing a Patriot list. Patriot list means that they are probably also playing Ultron. Ultron will be able to get pressure into Sanctum Sanctorum as well. We're going to have to be very careful in how we deal with this. There's a Killmonger. Okay. If we can lose the initiative and then the opponent plays the Ultron, our Killmonger will wipe them off the board, which would definitely be a winning play. But I just don't know, because we've invested now in getting the Vulture over there. We don't know if we're going to get Heimdall to be able to get there later. The Cloak can't do it. The Doctor Strange can't do it, so we had to do it. There is the Heimdall. Well, in hindsight. They have retreated. Fantastic. That's the power, the flexibility of the movement. Should have snapped. Tinkerer's Workshop jumping our energy curve is amazing. Now, if you guys enjoy the deck highlights or the deck guides, especially some budget deck guides, which this deck is, I've showcased it a number of times, but it's been fun to be able to return and show some love to the video. If you leave the likes, the comments, that helps support the channel here, helps me continue making this content rather than pursuing anything else. It's amazing to be here, and the support for the channel has been incredible, so thank you guys. Bar with no name, hey? The Heimdall is not what I wanted to see with a bar with no name. It's a good case for Storm being in the list to be able to fix locations like that. And now the mini lab will prevent cards from being added there, meaning that even if I pull the multiple man, he will not stretch back. So we're getting black flagged on every turn here. Yuck.
Face the might of Asgard.
I don't know what I want to do with this one. Maybe nothing? Gosh. Sure. Killmonger. It's really bad. Lockjaw? Yeah. Why not? So then it's like Lockjaw, Dagger. Dagger comes over. Is gonna grab a number of buffs. I don't think those two cards that have been flipped will buff them though. Dagger grabs +4. Oh, they did grab it all. Oh, fantastic. Okay.
To me.
Yeah, we're able to buff the Thor though. Yeah, big sunspot. Jane Foster. Hang on, Jane Foster is gonna shuffle though. But she does return Mjolnir to hand. And then they get the Chavez. Okay. Well, obviously we're not playing the Heimdall. So, the question is, do I want to play the Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange is going to pull the dagger. Yeah. Pull the dagger. Is grabbing the buffs from whatever they lay down going to be better than playing Hulkbuster? Probably. We're down by 5, up by 5. So right now it's just net even, but we know that they have Mjolnir and are ready for a powerful final turn swing. They have 7 cards in hand, that's the max. I guess they also probably got the Wasp out of the Jane Foster that shuffled away. The end point is that they're going to be able to produce a lot of power. I am not producing a lot of power. I'm playing 3 points with the dagger, grabbing whatever buffs she can. It likely will be a lot, but even if it is another 8, that's 11 points. As soon as they play the Mjolnir, they're getting +6 to eat away into our lead. I do get the buff from the Kraven. You know what? We'll let it play out. Hang on. If I go Hulkbuster first... Yes, okay. You know what? Now I'm a lot more confident. The Hulkbuster will not take up a spot, and then the Doctor Strange with this play order will be able to move the dagger. I'm just going to let it tick out. Do I snap? Do I snap? No, it's foolish. It's too foolish to snap, but we will play it out. Ah, yes, they had the open space. That's actually very clever on the opponent's part, because it means that the dagger does not produce as many buffs. Because they didn't play the Mjolnir to the location that she is moving to. Wow. Incredible adaptation, honestly. Is it enough? Probably. We get the buff from the Kraven, the dagger. We're down by 20, up by 13. Give that one over to the opponent. Savage Land again. Why does it feel like these locations come in clumps? It's not the hot location. It's not featured in any way. It's just here to bother me. That's domain is amazing for us. We have a number of ways to be able to get there. Unlikely for our opponent to be able to do so. I'll play the dagger, I suppose. We can then play Cloak. Yeah. If I play the cloak, move the dagger, she's gonna grab a lot of buffs. Mini lab. Why? I can't play with the location lockdown being this extreme. This is insane. What in the world am I supposed to do? I want to bring the dagger over to grab the buffs, but now I can't really do that. I guess I just play Hulkbuster, grab onto the raptor. I could play the vulture, sure. And then I could play cloak to be able to move the vulture. Or I suppose it'd be Doctor Strange would be the preference. Okay, fine. We got the bishop. They can still play cards to be able to buff the bishop to Death's Domain. And be okay with that. Okay, I'll go Doctor Strange. He's gonna die, but he pulls the vulture into the position that I want him in. And then, it'll be turn 5. We can play Hulkbuster. Make the raptors a little bigger. At what point do we play the Nova? And the Iron Fist and the cloak? I don't know. Move the vulture. What do you have? Is this just gonna die to buff the bishop as I said? Or do you actually have a way to fix this location for us? Yes, thank you! Now we can play the game. Out with the Heimdall, no less. This is very good for us. We can go Iron Fist, Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster will grab the vulture, get punched by the Iron Fist. Then I cloak, which will allow me to return vulture to Elysium. Now the only downside is that I don't actually have the guaranteed kill on the Nova, but Nova's free. We'll wait. They're snapping? They must be very happy with the Elysium, I suppose. Or they're just thinking that I'm taking too long, so I don't have plays. It can happen. I'm not trying to rope you. I'm sorry, Roughrand. 17 points. You're gonna have to explain to me how you beat this vulture, my friend. Are you gonna be able to clip him with the Shang-Chi? Not if we're clever about it. Vulture comes back. Vulture is so good. Now, if I let the... Hang on. If I let the vulture go back, I could be in trouble. It could be better, actually, just to play multiple man Heimdall. Then I get the dagger, the multiple man, to be able to put pressure on Elysium. And then I leave multiple man and Nova over here. It's a ton of overkill on this location, but the alternative is that only the cloak... Hang on. Undo me. The alternative is that I play, I suppose, my Heimdall here, replacing the 17 strength vulture with the 8 strength Heimdall, so we're going down by 9. We would still be significantly ahead of them. I don't think the bishop scales enough. I don't think so. No, it might. We could pull the raptor out and then we get the cloak back, which is an upgrade. And we're also playing our, okay, undo. We're moving the vulture, we're moving the raptor. We're placing multiple man. We're placing Heimdall. Heimdall's gonna pull a cloak. And then we play Nova after the Heimdall to be able to still be in the mini lab. This is where we get the huge letdown if they just retreat. They might. They have the Sarah. They also take the invitation of the cloak to leave the location. It's a big ol' vulture. What you got? Angela. Forge. Not good enough. Just barely not good enough. The bishop scales. Oh no. Oh, wait. We lost our raptors, but then we got the buff from the Nova. Yes. Let's go. 8 cubes on it. Oh my gosh. What a roller coaster. I thought that they'd actually taken us out when they killed our 1-drops, but then the buff from the Nova is just enough to tie, And the 23 Vulture is pretty impossible to surmount when it goes into margin of victory. We get the Hala here. I'll drop the Nova. Hala will perhaps just let... Ooh, Blade cutting up the Hela already. I think we snapped that. And then the Kunlun reveals it was meant to be. Play the dagger. Dagger, dagger, dagger. They have the Invisible Woman. They had exactly what they wanted, but then the Blade just randomly killed the Hela. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Do I take the buff on the dagger now, or do I develop Vulture first? I think I develop Vulture first. So the dagger would be gaining +4 on this buff. The Vulture gains +5. Well, just from the buff. Obviously, it's getting more because of Kunlun. They both get the extra +2 because of the Kunlun. And now we get the Multiple Man. Well, now I wait yet again. There's so many different ways to be able to take this. If we play the Multiple Man, the Doctor Strange will be able to play both Vulture and Multiple Man over. But if I play Forge comboed with Multiple Man is just going to be that much bigger. I'll just play the Forge here. Forge will buff the Doctor Strange in this case. I'll take the activation of, or the extra movement activation. Does the opponent have Ghost Rider? I've seen these Hela decks claw back by playing the Ghost Rider, revive the Hela, and then play their whole powerhouse of options. I guess it's actually Kraven first, and then Doctor Strange here. Doctor Strange pulls these two, buffs the Kraven as well. Then we're going to be looking for a Cloak. We're going to be looking for the Heimdall to finalize things. They get the Death. If they clawed back after having lost the Hela, we're poised for perfect success. The opponent lost their best card on the first turn. We're playing with Kunlun, which is a great boon to our deck, but I don't know. I guess it's just Hulkbuster here. Killmonger for margin of victory. Does kill the Blade. Oh, I love the art. Get the fireworks. So good. She doesn't have it. She just have the particle effect. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Have you played the Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider getting a new legendary variant that's going to be in the collector token store. By the way, Agatha? It was an Agatha deck the whole time? Here's the crazy thing. She could have won. If Agatha had played herself the Monster Metropolis, she would have been at 17 strength and we would have lost 3. Because the Multiple Man right now is holding the buff. Oh my God. We were this close to losing to Agatha. And here is the deck list in all of its glory. So much fun to be recording with the movement today. We did reach 80. So we were able to climb. Now, it's showing that we had been higher. This was from earlier. I was testing things. Fell down quite significantly. So we climbed about 20 cubes, recording for 53 minutes. Hope you guys enjoy the highlights. Let me know how the movement deck serves you, what kind of flavor of movement you enjoy playing. Till next time, thank you guys for watching and keep on snapping.